Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan, and we're on Prokhorovka, and I'm in the Thunderbolt, the Tier 7 American premium variation on the M4A3E8, if I remember correctly, the famous EZ8, and it's a Tier 6, Tier 6 Thunderbolt, was the EZ8's a Tier 6 tank anyway, and it's pretty strong Tier 6 matchmaking. Decent amount of Tier 5s as well, and I'm going to go to the central ridge line. I think the Thunderbolt is, for practical purposes, in this kind of a battle, a heavy tank. And I'm going to go to the central ridge line, and I'm going to do the heavy tank thing that I normally do on the central ridge line. That is patrol kind of the bottom of the central ridge line. My view is that you shouldn't really be poking the ridgeline to a huge extent, except very fast tanks. And there you're doing it for the purposes of spotting and luring, particularly spotting at the back line. But with heavier, slower tanks, you're not trying to shoot the guys opposite you. You're not trying to shoot your opposite numbers on the reverse slope of the ridge. You're trying to shoot tanks like this Matilda down here at the back of the map, who are possible to shoot without exposing much of your tank. And you're also trying to shoot tanks that pop up on the ridge line beside you, not adjacent beside, but say where that light tank is now. If that tank appeared when stationary for a small bit on top of the ridge line, that's a perfect target to shoot at, because you could do it from down here. The other opportunity to shoot is to shoot tanks that go up on the hill on the eastern side of the map. Now you've got to be careful there, because it depends on who's doing the spotting. Now, at this stage of the game, it was already obvious: A, the enemy were coming in strength down the eastern side of the map, and B, they didn't defend the western side. Our guys were already across the central ridge line. We have tanks observing at the edge of the little bowl there on the central ridge where it splits just before it comes to the road, and we have tanks west of the road already to the north of that position. So the enemy have not defended the western side of the map well at all, and it's only a matter of time for our guys envelop across. Now, I don't have anybody really to shoot at these people, but I can play a role in keeping them highlighted. And I'm on reasonably decent cover here, and I have the possibility of shooting them from a fairly hold down position. And I have a fairly strong turret, and I've got good gun depression on this gun as well. And they have the problem. You see, the problem with that hill is that, yes, that hill can be a very dominant position, especially if you contest the ridgeline, which they didn't. If they contest the ridgeline, then the defenders on my side of the ridgeline would have been in serious trouble, because we'd more or less have to give up this half of the central ridgeline. We'd have to give up this square, the one behind me, and probably half the one behind that. So we'd be defending from F4 west, half of F4 west, and we could only sporadically defend this side of the map, or do it from really low down on the ridgeline. We couldn't come up, because if we came up, these guys could shoot at us. But from a match-winning perspective, to try and get from where the heavy tank is now down there at J0, to get from J0 to the railway line at, K8? K7, K8, or J7, possibly. You're crossing a lot of open ground. And while the defenders have to stand in the railway in the open, more or less, to defend, they still have the possibility of backing in and out of cover, whereas they can also come south of the ridgeline, or south down the southern edge of the railway. Now, none of our guys are doing it. We have one AFK tank destroyer that never spawned in, and the other tank destroyer is retreating back to the opposite end of the map, which is not without merit, because the medium tank can spot anyone that comes through the railway line, and your man can then be in a position to shoot from cover. We have a heavy tank back there as well. Meanwhile, the enemy position to the north of me has completely collapsed, and I'm going to be getting an opportunity to fire now in here. There's a T1 heavies come YOLOing over the top, which I have enough support behind me. The tank destroyer is probably in a position to shoot this guy. Somebody's doing shooting from him anyway. The medium is probably shooting at him because he's nothing else to be doing. and the artillery are probably shooting at him. So this guy's taking a lot of fire and to no effect. So I have managed to survive and weather the storm because I have the support behind me. And meanwhile, that Cromwell B is trying to hold up the whole northern end of the map of his own. So I can come up here now. What I did initially was I came up too far north of the railway, but I can come up now with the locomotive protecting me, and I can wait for my reticle to drop down, and well, I got one shot into him, then he's vanished from view, and the second shot could have gone anywhere. Obviously, it didn't hit anything. Now, I don't want to be crossing the railway line at this current location to shoot at the people to the south of me behind me, but I'm going to go around the other side of the ridgeline, because once the Cromwell B is gone, there are not going to be no enemy tanks on the northern side of the ridgeline, so I can now reverse and use this as a defensive location, a hold down position, to attack the enemy tanks that are now to the south of me, starting with this Churchill 3, which we've already run off in one scenario, and now he's come back for a second round of it. Now the thing is that his turret's a lot weaker than mine is. Okay, some of its strongest locations it wouldn't be, but it's got a lot more weak spots than I have, and they're much more obvious, and I can put rounds through the turret, whereas he will have trouble putting rounds through mine. It won't be as obvious. So we now need to get better. We're probably getting terrain is becoming an issue. The Churchill is sufficiently low on the ground. That's an auto bounce, I think. I need to get a better angle to get out of the weaker spots of the turret without exposing too many mine, and that's a successful shot in through the turret roof, and I think we might be able to do that again. That bounced. You can see the armor of the Churchill's pretty good. Like I'm sort of 50% bounce chance even with premium rounds. Get rid of the remaining tank, and there's only the Churchill left and the Nashorn, which is on the ridgeline, which is on the hill to the east of me. So there's the Churchill. More tank side exposed to the weather and to my gunfire, and therefore I gotta put gunfire into it. And now we have the Nashorn, and his gun isn't even pointing at me, which is better again. So we fired him with high explosives, but that hit his tracks. I didn't have too many rounds of high explosives anyway. It was more to stop him capping, if I thought he was still capping. And we have a victory. So we got almost 2,000 regular damage that we achieved for ourselves. We blocked almost 1,000 damage, so we almost blocked the qualifier for a steel wall on our own, and we have 353 assisted damage, so 3 detected, 3 destroyed. And came number 1 by experience, along with the steel wall. So that is pretty much it. You can see the list of tanks that I shot there. And we got our steel wall 2nd class mastery. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Feel free to share and comment below. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.